Good morning, friends. Welcome back to our urban homestead, and we're back in my kitchen. Got some really strong coffee. So I am ready to start my day. I'm gonna be doing pasta, crock-pot pasta fagioli, which is Italian soup, like tomatoes and beans and a little bit of pasta. So let's get started. I've got about a pound of hamburger. Now this is not our butchered hamburger. Unfortunately, I'm all out of that, and our next cow won't be ready for butcher until spring. So I had to buy some store-bought burger, which about killed me when I seen the price. I was like, oh my God, are you kidding me? And the quality is just not as great in my opinion. So it's gonna be weird tasting this burger when we're used to grass-fed, grass-finished, locally raised beef. So, like I said, I think it's about a pound. It could be even a little bit more than that. And I'm gonna season that with some garlic powder and some onion powder. I am almost out of onion powder, so today I will be dehydrating some more onions and making some more onion powder. You can do this recipe on the stovetop, you know, like you would make a normal soup. But I've got a lot going on today, so it's just going to be easier for me to do it in the crock pot. We're supposed to get 16 to 18 inches of snow starting tomorrow morning and going through Thursday. And it's supposed to start raining tonight and then switch to snow in the morning. So I need to go out and make sure the chickens have, you know, plenty of water and make sure they're fed and all of that, so I don't have to go out when it's 16 inches of snow and try to open up that coop door. I also have to make my way out to the high tunnel and bring all of my seeds, well, not all of them, but some of my seed cells in so I can plant my hot peppers today, and I'll be doing a video on that later. So with this meal today, we're just gonna have the soup for supper, and I'm gonna make a loaf of bread. I have always my no-knead bread recipe in the fridge. If you haven't watched that video, look for it on the channel. It is a game changer, really, because I bake bread almost daily, and it's just easy to have it in the fridge ready to go. It takes 5 minutes to put together. You put it in your fridge overnight, and you can pull from that and make bread for up to 2 weeks. It never lasts that long in our fridge. I usually have to make a batch every 2 days or so. But it's just nice to have that on hand. All I gotta do is take it out about 40 minutes before I make dinner so it can get a nice little rise on it, and then pop it in the oven when I'm cooking, and there's nothing like the smell of fresh bread in your house. It's beautiful. All right, so I'm gonna add a couple handfuls of these onions to the beef, and the rest of these will get dehydrated. These have been in my freezer since the summer, early fall, late summer. I did not have luck with onions last year. I already have some out in the front garden, so hopefully I'll get a good crop this year. I think that's what my problem was, is I didn't plant them in the fall, and I did that this year. So, but I did buy these from a local farmer friend of mine, and I got 50 pounds of them, and I just chopped them all up. That was one hell of a day. Let me tell you what, my eyes were like bloodshot from crying so much. And then I just put them in these bags and freeze them. And then you have onions whenever you need them. You don't have to chop them. If you are going to do that, I do suggest laying it on like a cookie sheet and then freezing them in one layer and then putting them into the bag, because if you don't, they're all gonna stick together and it's a real pain to try to get them. Like, you can't just reach in and grab a handful. If you freeze them first and then put them in the bag, you can just reach in and grab a handful with no problem. My sweet potatoes from last night, I've got to take the lids off or rings off of these, wash them, and put them in the pantry. Coffee grounds. If you don't save your coffee grounds, you should be if you're a gardener. These are going to go in my compost. I have to, when I go out to the high tunnel, I will dump those into my compost bin. Coffee grounds provide an excellent source of nitrogen. So like sometimes, you know, you'll see your leaves get really yellow. And if that ever happens to me, I literally will just take a handful of my coffee grounds, not the fresh, they have to be used, and give it a little sprinkle around, and then either when it rains, I'll do it before it rains, or if we have a dry spell, I will do it before I water, and that nitrogen from the beans soaks in and it bounces your vegetables and even some of your houseplants back in no time. Like, it's kind of amazing how fast it works. But I always put some in my compost pile. All right. So the burger's cooked. Bring it over here so you can see what else goes in it. I'm just gonna pour. You can drain your burger if you want. I generally do not, because fat adds flavor. Okay, so we've got the onion and the burger in there. I've got 2 jars of my spaghetti sauce. This is just seasoned with, like, you know, your normal spaghetti sauce seasonings. Grab a spatula. I don't know if I said this already, but this is my mom's recipe. And it is very, very good and so easy. Now, obviously, if you don't can your own stuff, just go to the store and get a couple jars of whatever pasta sauce you like. But you want it to just be a plain pasta sauce. You don't want it to have like mushrooms. I mean, I guess you could, but I just like it plain. Got some celery. When I chop up my celery, this is going to get dehydrated too. It was in my fridge and it was getting kind of like soft. All I did was soak it in cold water for about 15 minutes. And I mean, it's back to being just as crunchy as, oh, I just got that in my eye. It's very crunchy and just normal again. I don't take the leaves or the hearts out when I chop up my celery to dehydrate it or when I add it into anything. There's a lot of flavor in those smaller stalks that have the leaves, so I just leave them. And those rest of those are going to get dehydrated. So I don't know, I would say that's maybe around 2 stalks. I have a jar of my diced tomatoes. I do a larger dice on my tomatoes. I don't do a small dice. And that is going to go in right with the water. I've already rinsed these beans. Now, her recipe called for kidney beans. I can red beans. I don't can kidney beans. I don't really eat a lot of kidney beans. I think the red beans are more versatile. I use them in all of my chilies, soups. I've even mashed them up for like refried red beans and rice. I just think that these are more versatile and I like the flavor of these versus kidney bean. Her recipe called for kidney beans. I'm using red beans. So I've got a pint of those. Like I said, I already rinsed them. And then a pint of, her recipe called for cannellini beans. But I'm using what I have in my pantry. And I have navy beans. So these are going to go in as well. Make sure that you rinse them. We're going to add a touch more of Italian seasoning. I'm going to do about half a tablespoon. Some salt. We use pink salt. Good couple pinches. And some black pepper. I gotta grind some more up. That is really low. Now you're just gonna give this a nice little mix. Oh, one more thing that's gotta go in there. Carrots. These are the carrots that some of the carrots I dehydrated yesterday. I'm just gonna add a little handful and they will rehydrate as this cooks. Now, if you are gonna dehydrate carrots, I suggest that you blanch them for about 10 minutes. And that is gonna give your carrots better texture when they rehydrate. Now, last year, I did not blanch them the first time I dehydrated carrots. And when I used them, they were just, I don't know. The texture just was off. So I blanched them and the texture is much better when they reconstitute. All right, let's get in for a close-up on this. That sun is right in my eye. So this is gonna cook on low for about 6 hours, or you can do it on high for 4. And then about a half hour before it's time for supper, I'm gonna add about a half to 3/4 of a cup of pasta, and then you'll let it cook for 30 more minutes, and that pasta will cook. You can add a little bit of water to this. I'll check it in a little while and see if it needs a little bit of water. But that's it, easy peasy, and so good. It's delicious. So definitely give this recipe a try. All right, that's it. Thanks for cooking with me, and I'll be back in just a little while, and we will plant some peppers. I'm so excited to start planting something. Winter kills me, like it literally kills me. I just have a couple things in the house to do. I try to break up all of my housework throughout the week, so I'm not like spending 1 or 2 days doing everything. I have a planner that I write out each day what I'm doing, and I do the same thing every week, and that is really beneficial for me anyways, for when the warmer weather comes. That way I can have all of my stuff done inside by about 8 or 9 o'clock, and then I am outside the rest of the day until after the sun goes down. So that way my housework doesn't fall behind, and I still can, you know, tend to the gardens and chickens, and then sit outside and relax, or we'll play cornhole with the kids. So it's just easier for me to break up my tasks. I do a couple each day, and that works out well. So, all right. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later. Have a wonderful day.